What if I told you that some of the most reliable cars on the road today aren't Toyotas, not Hondas, but used luxury cars that most people are too scared to buy? I'm talking about vehicles that originally sold for $60,000, $70,000, even $90,000, now sitting under $30,000 and still capable of going 200,000 miles or more without major issues. And here's the crazy part: while most buyers avoid them because of the badge, the smart ones are quietly picking them up and driving them for years with minimal problems. Today, we're counting down 10 used luxury cars that are secretly bulletproof. These aren't money pits. These are the hidden deals. Let's start at number 10, the Acura TLX, specifically models from 2015 through 2020. Now, Acura sits in this interesting space, not quite Toyota, not quite German luxury, but that's exactly why it works. Underneath the badge, you're getting Honda engineering, and that matters. The TLX came with two main engines, a 2.4-liter four-cylinder and a 3.5-liter V6, both of which have been around long enough to prove themselves. The four-cylinder is paired with an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, and while that sounds complex, Acura built it to be smooth and durable, not aggressive and failure-prone. The V6, on the other hand, uses a 9-speed automatic transmission sourced from ZF, and that distinction matters, as the laggy ZF 9-speed has been a widely reported flaw among owners. It's also worth noting that not all model years are equal. The 2015, 2016, and 2018 models are generally ones to approach with caution, with the 2015 being the most problematic, plagued by transmission problems, interior accessory issues, brake problems, and electrical issues. A significant recall was also issued covering 2015 to 2020 Acura TLX vehicles due to a manufacturing error in the connecting rod bearing of the engine, which could wear and seize, causing serious engine damage. So while the TLX has a strong reliability reputation overall, it's not entirely free of major issues. That said, with responsible driving and regular maintenance, TLX owners can expect the car to last well into the 250,000 to 300,000 mile range, with many surpassing 100,000 miles without significant problems. The four-cylinder variant in particular earns high marks from long-term owners, and because it wears a luxury badge, depreciation hits hard early, which is exactly why you can now find clean examples well under $25,000. At number 9, the Lexus ES 350, and honestly, this one almost feels unfair to include because it's that good. We're talking about models from 2013 through 2018, built on Toyota's well-proven 6th-generation ES platform. This is the same 3.5-liter V6 engine, producing 268 horsepower and 248 pound-feet of torque that has powered a wide range of vehicles across Toyota and Lexus lineups, from the Camry, Highlander, and RAV4 to Lexus models like the IS 350, GS 350, and RX 350, and by the time it landed in the ES, every weakness had already been ironed out. This isn't a car that tries to impress you with aggressive styling or performance. It's built to do one thing extremely well: run forever. The transmission is a 6-speed automatic. No experimental tech, no unnecessary complexity, and that simplicity is exactly why these cars last. Owners describe the ES as appliance-like, and in the reliability world, that's the highest compliment you can give. You change the oil, keep up with fluids, and it just keeps going. With regular maintenance, many of these engines comfortably clear 200,000 miles, and well-kept examples often push 250,000 to 300,000 plus miles. And because it's not flashy, it flies under the radar in the used market, making it one of the best luxury deals you can buy. Number 8 is where things get interesting. The BMW 3 Series, specifically the F30 generation, with the B48 four-cylinder engine, models from around 2016 onward. Now I know what you're thinking. BMW, reliable? But here's the key: engine choice matters. The older BMW engines had their issues, no question, but the B48 is a completely different story. BMW simplified the design, improved cooling, strengthened internal components, and most importantly, made it consistent. Pair that with the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, widely considered one of the best transmissions in the world, and you've got a drivetrain that's surprisingly durable. This isn't the kind of car that falls apart at 100,000 miles like older stereotypes suggest. In fact, many owners are reporting 150,000 to 200,000 miles with minimal issues. The trick is maintenance. Stay on top of oil changes, don't ignore small problems, And this car rewards you with a driving experience that still feels premium years later. And because people are still skeptical of BMW reliability, prices stay low, which works in your favor. At number 7, the Lexus IS 350. And if the ES is about comfort, the IS is about balance. Same bulletproof 3.5-liter V6, but in a more performance-oriented package. Models from 2014 through 2020 are the sweet spot here. Rear-wheel drive, naturally aspirated engine, and a traditional automatic transmission. The RWD has 350 pairs with an 8-speed automatic, while the AWD version uses a 6-speed automatic. No turbos, no complicated hybrid systems, just proven mechanical components. This is the kind of car that enthusiasts love because it delivers a sporty feel without sacrificing reliability. And that's rare. Most performance-oriented luxury cars come with long-term risks. The IS 350 doesn't. Owners regularly take these past 200,000 miles, and the biggest expenses tend to be routine maintenance, not major repairs. It's one of the few cars that lets you enjoy driving without constantly worrying about what's going to break next. Number 6, the Audi A6, specifically with the 3.0T supercharged V6 from around 2014 to 2018. Now, Audi has had its share of reliability concerns, but this one is different. The 3.0T is widely regarded as one of Audi's best modern engines. It's smooth, powerful, and most importantly, durable. The supercharger setup is actually simpler in some ways than turbocharged alternatives, which helps with long-term reliability. Pair that with Audi's Quattro all-wheel drive system, and you've got a car that's not only comfortable and refined, but also capable in all conditions. Owners who maintain these properly are seeing 150,000 miles and beyond without major issues. The key here is maintenance discipline. Skip it and you'll pay. Stay on top of it. And this car delivers luxury and performance at a fraction of its original price. Halfway through the list, and at number 5, we've got the Lexus GX 460. This is where luxury meets over-engineering. Underneath the leather interior and refined ride, the GX is based on the Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, from which it derives its off-road capability. That means body-on-frame construction, a 4.6-liter V8 engine, producing 301 horsepower, and components designed to survive some of the harshest conditions on the planet. But most owners aren't taking these off-road every day. They're using them for commuting, road trips, and family duties, which means all that heavy-duty engineering is barely being stressed. That's why these things last so long. IC Cars analyzed over 300 million vehicles to assess how long each model lasts, ranking the GX 460 as the most reliable luxury midsize SUV under $60,000. The probability of a repair being severe or major is just 9% for the GX 460, compared to an average of 12% for all vehicle models. The engine is under-stressed, the transmission is proven, and the overall design prioritizes durability over trends. Yes, fuel economy isn't great. The GX 460 is rated at an average of 16 miles per gallon, but reliability, it's about as good as it gets. At number 4, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, specifically the W212 generation from 2009 to 2016, not merely 2014 to 2016, as originally stated. Though the facelifted version did arrive as the 2014 model year, this is one of those rare moments where Mercedes actually leaned into durability. The E-Class from this era used engines and transmissions that had already been refined over years of production. The result is a car that feels solid, composed, and surprisingly reliable for a German luxury vehicle. The interior holds up well, the ride quality stays consistent, and major failures are far less common than people expect. This is the kind of car that, when maintained properly, can easily cross 200,000 miles. And because newer Mercedes models have become more complex and expensive to repair, these older, simpler versions are becoming increasingly desirable in the used market. Number 3, the Lexus RX 350. And if you've watched any reliability breakdown before, this name should sound familiar. The RX has been the gold standard for luxury SUV reliability for years. Models from 2011 through 2015, as well as 2018 and 2019, are especially strong, with the 2013 to 2015 generation, in particular being highly praised for durability and for sticking with a naturally aspirated engine, which many owners regard as more reliable long-term than the turbocharged engines found in some newer competitors. It's worth noting that while some sources cite 2013 through 2019, caution is advised with the 2016 and 2017 model years, which are among the more problematic and should be avoided. The same proven V6 engine powers the lineup, and conservative engineering remains central to the RX's appeal. The focus has always been on long-term ownership rather than short-term excitement. This is the kind of vehicle that people buy and then keep for a decade. Owners consistently praise it for being a quiet, trouble-free vehicle that makes every drive feel serene, with minimal issues, low maintenance costs, and a reputation that speaks for itself. It's not flashy, it's not sporty, but it works every single day without drama. Number 2, the Toyota Avalon. Yes, technically not a luxury brand, but step inside one, and it absolutely qualifies, especially higher trims from 2015 through 2020. This is essentially a Lexus ES without the badge, built on the same platform, with a similar drivetrain. That means you're getting luxury-level comfort and Toyota-level reliability at a lower price point. These cars are known to last well beyond 200,000 miles, and because they don't carry the Lexus badge, they're often overlooked in the used market. That makes them one of the smartest buys on this entire list. And finally, number 1, the Lexus LS 460, the car that perfectly represents the idea of secretly bulletproof luxury. This is the flagship sedan, the one that originally competed with the S-Class and 7 Series, but with a completely different philosophy. Instead of pushing cutting-edge tech, Lexus focused on refinement and durability. The 4.6-liter V8 is incredibly smooth and built to last. The ride quality is exceptional. The interior materials hold up over time, and the overall ownership experience is shockingly trouble-free for a car in this class. When these were new, they were priced from around $61,000 to just under $80,000, depending on the model year and trim. Today, used examples can be found starting well under $30,000, and they still deliver that flagship experience without the typical flagship headaches. Now here's the takeaway. The reason these cars are such good deals isn't because they're bad, it's because of perception. People hear luxury car and immediately think expensive to maintain, unreliable, not worth the risk. And in some cases, that's true, but not these. These are the exceptions. These are the models where the engineering, the design, and the long-term data all point in the same direction: durability. If you know what to look for, you can get a car that feels premium, drives better than most economy vehicles, and still lasts just as long. So here's the question. If you had $30,000 to spend, would you go for a brand new economy car or a used luxury car that was built to last? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed, because we break down the market like this every single week so you can make smarter decisions and avoid expensive mistakes.